All he has to do is switch the receiver on, and I'm talking away going, good morning, good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh. Well, listen, wherever you are in the world, we hope it's not raining and it's sunshine like we have today, just about. It's a little grey, and the fields are slightly flooded. Last week we were in Duxford, and we were delighted because just before the show, we got a box. We got a box labelled Pro-Stitcher Lite. Now, not everybody who's got a handy quilter long arm will be ecstatic, as many as our customers are, as ecstatic as we are about getting our computerized system for our Moxie and Simply 16 customers. But many of you are. And it's a bit of a game changer for those people who've got the Moxie and Simply 16. And for those people who are also looking for a computerized system or the option of maybe going in the future to computerized. And the price point is very attractive too. So this Facebook Live is primarily about that. Excuse me. Now, one of the things that we wanted to do on this Facebook Live was show you some of the features of Pro-Stitcher Lite. Now, we spent the morning going through unboxing the Pro-Stitcher Lite. So you'll be able to see a YouTube video that we've posted this morning where I open up the box, show the components, and explain a little bit about how it fits in with the carriage. There are a few occasions, I confess, when they named the different frames, Littlefoot and Loft, sometimes I get my Littlefoots and Lofts mixed up. Pete corrects me. Thankfully, I've got Pete to help me in that department. I get my L's confused. If they started with a different letter, it would help. So anyway, hopefully you follow along. And if there's any questions, we're going to have some explanations of how it all works on our website in due course. Anyway, we're pretty excited about it because computerized quilting is one of those things I'm just going to say stupidly excited about. I do. And some of you know that in my past, I grew up with computers. My dad used to work for IBM back in the 1960s, and I am that old. And we were really lucky to have computers at home. In my, gosh, I think we had Apple back in 1970. I'm going to say 1978. We had HP, and we had the PET, Commodore PET. So I grew up with computers, and I just absolutely love computers, and I work for IBM as a systems engineer. So when it comes to computer stuff, I'm a bit of a geek. I say I don't look like a geek, but I do get geeky. I used to work for IBM technical support, UK technical support on large systems capacity planning. Who knew? Anyway, so when it comes to doing things like this, I absolutely love it. So we've been unboxing the Moxie and Simply 16 Pro-Stitcher Lite this morning. And in a very short space of time, here it is. We haven't got it to the point where we're quilting with it yet because it needs some updates. And Handy Quilter are working on some updates on the Pro-Stitcher Lite. And we've just seen that there was an update just 2 days ago. So we need to do those updates before we can get it quilting. But we can actually show you it in some demonstration mode. And also, we're going to explain a little bit about how it all works. First of all, Pete, can everybody hear us, or am I just talking on mute?
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I've done my one job. I'm going to go home now.
Oh, he's offended that I said you had one job. He says it to me sometimes. You had one job. You had one job. And so I just threw it back at him. We don't have many domestics, and there's no point in having a domestic if you can't have it on public YouTube and Facebook. Go on then, Pete. Do you want to share with us anybody who said hello from around the world?
It's difficult to see on this screen, actually. I was trying to get to my laptop to look at that.
Okay.
We've got all our usual suspects I've seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who've we got? Who we got? Share with us. Share with us who we've got. Have we got Val Brooks?
I haven't seen Val. We've got Tricia Lockhart, Lindy Lodge, nice. Susie Meakin, Carol Mann.
Susie, who we saw. And, Susie, we didn't see Tim. We were probably busy chatting. Gosh, Duxford was so busy, wasn't it?
Tim was looking at the airplanes, which,
He was. Well, he does build model helicopters, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah. I bet he was in his own geek heaven.
Okay, so yes, we have got Val Brooks, but she came a close second to Di Bell this morning. Val,
wow. Hi, Di.
Your typing finger was a bit slow this morning, Val.
Your eBay finger was just not quite as fast as your Facebook finger.
What else we got? Janice Collett, Maya Dyer.
Hi, Janice. Hi, Maya.
Lindy Lodge, Janice
Collett.
Collett.
Hi, Lindy. Yeah. Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah. Derek and Sandra with us.
Hi, Derek, Sandra.
Stuart.
See you later.
Stuart. Yes, you sympathise with me, Stuart, don't you? Yeah. Yes.
Which
You've had to work with Liz as well, haven't you? Stuart Hillard.
Is that the lovely Stuart Hillard?
It is the lovely Stuart Hillard.
Absolutely. I do love and adore because he is very, very good to work with, I've got to say.
Yeah.
So you've got my back.
Yeah, no, I think he's feeling some sympathy for me as well this morning.
Do you think, really, Stuart? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved your goats, your baby goats.
Baby goats?
Yeah. Did you not? Oh, you'd probably don't see on Facebook. Baby goats born this week. Gorgeous. I think they were goats. I really saw it very briefly. I think they were goats. Oh, that would be embarrassing if they were sheep. And that would be like, can I just tell the story? Very, very briefly, very funny. Handy quilter educator Debbie Brown came over. We're driving down the M40 and it must have been at a particular time of the year. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. And we're driving down the M40, M42 to Warwick Castle, where I'm taking Debbie for a little excursion. And we're going along, and she says, "Oh, what are those white things in the field?" I said, "Those are sheep, Debbie." I've never let her forget it. Those are sheep. Those white things. Yeah, white fluffy things, Debbie. Sheep. She was a little embarrassed. Okay. So
good. We've got Sheena with us as well this morning.
Oh, fantastic.
And Carolyn, yes, we'll see you in a couple of days.
Yay, Carolyn.
And Elaine Tabner, yes, nice to see you at Duxford, Elaine.
Oh, it was. She always makes me laugh. Elaine, and with your friend, who's doing very well on your machine. What a nice friend. What a lovely friend you are to your friend, Elaine, letting her use your machine. It's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, you're doing great guns on your Moxie by the sounds of it. So fantastic. Hey, Elaine, here you go. So what can we do? We can put a computerized system on top of our Moxie, just like this. It sits up here. It all connects, you see. They were planning ahead when they put all those extra ports underneath the green housing up here. They've got the power there. They've got the USB socket here, which plugs into the side. We've got a tablet. The Chewy tablet here is only an inch shorter at the top, but otherwise it's the same dimensions width-wise as the Pro-Stitcher tablet that you get on your Pro-Stitcher Premium if you have an Amara or one of the ones for the Avanti. So we've got it all plugged in here. We've got the carriage is, you keep the carriage. So if you've got your Moxie on a loft frame like this, this is a cut down loft frame, admittedly, but what we've done is we've got Pete has been busy putting on, can you see this? This is the carriage, original carriage, with what they call the Pro-Stitcher Lite tray inserted into the carriage. From the underside, you put in, you take out, I think you already have the 6 screws, don't you, Pete?
You replace them. So you take out the 6 existing screws and you replace them with some longer screws that are needed to hold the tray in place. Okay, great. So, but it's very straightforward. The instructions are very easy. Yeah, and I've got to say, I mean, we were working as a bit of a tag team, weren't we, Pete? You were doing the track here, which is this blue, what they call the flexi rack. And people who've got perhaps one of the other systems with Pro-Stitcher Premium will recognise this blue flexi rack. And you get the blue flexi rack and you get these screws and a retainer here, this little L-shaped thing that holds it at the end. It has double-sided tape on the reverse of this blue flexi rack. This blue flexi rack for your X-axis is going to drive the carriage with motors that are on the underside of your tray, and that's what controls the motors, what drives the machine around on the X-axis. On the Y-axis,
I wonder if you can get in there, Pete. And if I go to the back, I'm just going to go to the back of the Moxie here.
And good morning, Justine. We've got a non-quilter with us this morning, Justine. But, you know, we might convert you yet.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yes, your life may change from now on, Justine. Oh, yes, Justine. Fantastic. So this is the y-axis. And the y-axis is going to move the machine in this direction. So the combination of X and the Y enables us to do circles. It has a blue flexi rack on the underside of here, which connects with the motor. If I move this back, this is where the motor is going to be driving the Moxie forward back. And that is held in place with some bolts on the underside that attaches it to the Moxie. So you put those elements out of the box of the Pro-Stitcher Lite, and everything is detailed nice and simply. You've also got the built app, which describes how to do these things.
Louise, that's a good question. Yes, you do need the black tabletop section that goes on the loft frame here, because without it, you've got nothing to fix the blue track onto. The loft frame as standard comes without these, but we've priced the Pro-Stitcher Lite to include those black tracks, those black tabletop sections if you don't have them already.
Yeah, we've made the pricing, I say we, Pete, has made the pricing really straightforward so that there are two sets of pricing, one for those people who've got the Moxie with the loft frame or the Simply 16 with the loft frame, and a set of pricing for those people who've got the Simply with the, or the Moxie with the little foot frame. Because the little foot frame has got, is that right? Or no, it's actually, there's three sets of pricing, isn't there? Well, two sets of pricing. There's the Moxie or the Simply 16 on the loft frame, or the Moxie on the little foot frame. And there's one set of pricing that's slightly elevated because the Simply on the little foot frame has a different set of carriage wheels. And if you watch our YouTube video that we put up this morning, it's a little clearer because we show you the carriage. I could go and grab that carriage, couldn't I, Pete? Should I just do that?
Yes, you could.
Yeah, let me just go and get that.
So Helen, yes, you could still use the quilt from the back kit with this installed. In fact, on this machine here, this is the machine we took to Duxford as a demo machine. So on the back here, we do in fact have the, actually that's not quite true, is it, Liz?
What's that, the stylus?
Yes, yes. Helen, the answer to that is no, actually, just to change my tune, because this port here is where your laser light plugs in.
Yeah, but you can use the Groovy Board stylus.
So you can use the Groovy Board stylus, but you can't use the laser because the laser uses the same port as this, which is now plugged into the carriage of the Pro-Stitcher.
Yeah, I mean, you could unplug it, but you couldn't be using them simultaneously.
Yes, and in fact, if you have Pro-Stitcher Lite, you wouldn't really need to use your...
You wouldn't. I don't see any reason why you'd use the laser light. I mean, you know, we had people in the past who bought Groovy Boards, for example, and I can think of a number of different people who've gone from using quilting from the back, say with Avantes, where quilting from the back kit was effectively included with the machine, and they kept hold of their Groovy Boards, having bought Pro-Stitcher Premium, and they thought they would continue to use Groovy Boards. They never did. They never went back to using Groovy Boards. There are the same designs on Pro-Stitcher Premium. I'm not sure how many of those designs are included on Pro-Stitcher Lite. I haven't actually got to looking at those, but let's have a look. For example, if someone has got, I can see them now. If someone has got a Baptist Fan Groovy Board, there's Baptist Fan. Another one that you might have as a Groovy Board would be Blustery Breeze. I can never say it. There's Blustery Breeze. That's a Groovy Board. So Clover Edge to, oh, that's not one. There are a few Groovy Boards that you might have. Further Delight is a Groovy Board. Field of Flowers is a Groovy Board. Why would you do Groovy Boards when you've got them on here? I can't think of any good reason. Because the thing about having them on here is you can scale them to your quilt perfectly. Yeah? So I know from the experience of those customers who've done exactly that in the past and they've bought Groovy Boards, they are a fixed size. And you've got to physically be moving them along. As soon as you go Pro-Stitcher, you're not going to go back. So you'll probably end up selling your Groovy Boards. That's what will happen. Okay, so let me just show you. This is a carriage, okay? So imagine, and this is a carriage from a Simply 16. And the difference between the Moxie carriage, let me just move these wires out of the way. Between a Moxie carriage and a Simply 16 carriage is that on a Moxie, on a Loft Frame carriage and a Littlefoot carriage, this is an 8-wheel carriage, whereas on a Loft Frame carriage it's a 4-wheel carriage. These wheels are angled. You can see that they're angled, and they fit on what's called a precision glide system. So the track is effectively here and these are angled in. You can't use this particular carriage with Pro-Stitcher Lite. So as part of the pricing, if you had a Littlefoot frame, we've priced in an extra carriage that you'd need so that your new tray will fit into the new carriage. And then, and also the tracks that will fit on. So your Littlefoot frame that you'll be using, the Pro-Stitcher Lite and your Simply 16 on the Littlefoot frame will then be on a new carriage, and this will now be redundant. Okay, so that pricing is slightly more if you've got a Littlefoot frame, but it means that you've got computerized quilting. And the thing is, this is why I think it's a bit of a game changer. If you've not got much space, and it's absolutely brilliant really, if you've not got much space, I mean, this is a 6-foot cut down loft frame. We take it to the shows because we don't have a lot of space to, to exhibit. Plus we need to get a whole load of machines and frames into our trailer. Pete cut this loft frame down so we could show more long arms. This is about the same size as a Littlefoot frame. So if you don't have much space, but you've got a Littlefoot frame, what you'll end up doing is being able to do a king-size quilt on a Littlefoot frame. If you add computerized quilting, and you've already pre-basted your quilt, so you can do a quilt effectively in sections. Computerized quilting is brilliant because you're hooping up a pre-basted quilt. You're going to do custom quilting, and say you've got a block to do at a time. You'll be able to do skew to fit a block at a time and then move on to the next block. You probably aren't going to do edge to edge anymore. So I think that it's an absolutely brilliant option for people who've got Simply 16s, who will be able to do this computerized quilting and custom work in the future. And it's at a price point that's going to make it really affordable. So I think it's a fabulous option. I don't know whether you've got anything to add to that, Pete.
No, not really. No. There are some questions coming in, but they're not really related to Pro-Stitcher Lite. So I'll get back to people separately on Facebook there. Anne Garner, who came this week, says, best service ever. Very good. It's one of the longest services ever. And, but no, your machine was in excellent condition.
The best timing you've had, honestly, Anne. Pete was so impressed that your timing was spot on.
12 years Anne's had her machine, and
second machine ever sold
in the UK. Yes, and the timing when I serviced the machine was absolutely spot on after 12 years. So those people who worry about throwing the timing out, if like Anne you take good care not to hit rulers and things like that, then it may never need adjusting.
But can we just say, don't leave it 12 years to have your machine serviced.
No names mentioned.
Oh, no. There's no relation between those two events. Right, moving on. Now, moving on to demoing this, I think is probably the next thing to do, correct?
Yep. Peter? So just to answer a relevant question here, no, Sean and others know it won't work with the Avanti on a Littlefoot frame.
No.
The machine is too heavy. The motors in the Pro-Stitcher Lite carriage are just not strong enough to carry that extra weight. of the bigger machines. So the only option for your Advanti and larger machines is to use the full Pro-Stitcher Premium package.
Yeah, yes, much heavier. Okay, so what we've got here then, Moxie, Pro-Stitcher Lite, and the tablet all included. So this is our main screen. Is there much reflection on there, Pete? Can you see? That's the main screen.
I think it's okay.
Okay. Shall I just run through then what we've got here? Anybody who's used to Pro-Stitcher Premium will see something very, very similar. Now, you can go onto the ProStitcher.com website and you can actually have a look at this there on the Handy Quilter. Well, I mean, Handy Quilter's site is a separate site, ProStitcher.com, and you'll be able to see this software. So across the top, it's rather like a lot of Windows type software. You'll see various tabs, and then we have what's called the ribbon. Underneath it, each of these, we've got things that we can do. So we've got File, where we open designs. That's the most exciting one. So we go File, Design, Open, and we can go into Pick a Design. So one is here. We're going to go in and we can open either blocks being things that are normally square. We can make them into rectangles if we wish. And there's some lovely block designs in here. We can do things like borders and blocks and, I mean, cactuses, maybe not typical for the UK. Daisy placemats there. I love the ones where, and I'm going to make this one for grandson Patrick, I think, the dump truck and the fire engine. There's a cement truck as well that you can get. And there's lots of grids and things, so you can do fills. That's one that's lovely in the round. Amazing, this one, line illusion block. When you put a load of those together, you get a real build-up in the corners of thread. Moose, that was one I did at Christmas time, and I thought it would be great as a table runner. You put a whole line of mooses together. Oh, Rays is one I've done as I did that for Emily, didn't I? I did that. That's one that they use. Pete's daughter uses that as on the floor for Emily when she was playing. That was a really effective one. I'm not sure about the rubber ducky. It looks like slightly mad evil, the rubber ducky, but anyway. Crosshatch table runner. That's nice. So these are all fantastic. Look at these spirals are brilliant. These are all included. String art, sunray, etc. So we can pick any of these. Look at that, string art. Let's open that one up. So it loads, it comes into your workspace. This is called the workspace. And it comes in at a certain width and height, which you can then resize. And then you can actually tell it how big you want it to be. I'm just going to go into what's called simulation so that I can move things around. So once I'm in simulation mode, it enables me to show you more about the demonstration.
So Sheila, just to answer your question, we don't have a combined price, but the combined price for the Moxie with the Pro-Stitcher Lite will be the sum of the two. That means that people can buy the machine and the frame now and add on the Pro-Stitcher Lite at any time in the future, and it's the same price. So in fact, the Pro-Stitcher Lite isn't quite available for sale in the UK yet. This is our demonstration version. It's going through its final approvals for certification purposes in the EU and the UK, and we're hoping to have it, who knows when, in the next month or so.
Yeah, April, May.
April, May.
That's what
available for sale. So we can give you a quote, Sheila, for the combined package if you'd like to get in touch.
These green crosshairs are simulating my needle. So if I move this around, I can say where I want this to be sewn. So I'm going to effectively move my machine or needle to where I want the top left to be. And I'm going to go into my area and say, right, there's my top left. That's my first corner, and it pings. And then I move my area or crosshairs to be my bottom right, press 2 corner. And now I'm going to skew this spiral to fit. So I go into modify, and I go into the skew function, and I say, right, skew to fit, and it'll skew it to fit into whatever shape I want. And there we go.
Hopefully that's visible. It's very bright in here today, just when you want it to be dark to see a screen.
I'll turn the lights on. Don't go away. Oh, is that better? It might be less, slightly less.
Hard to tell. So many screens here too.
And then this Pro-Stitcher tab is where we actually stitch it out. So we can stitch that with start and end, and pull up on, etc. And
somebody tell me if this is visible, guys, because obviously there's the potential flicker that you've got as well by looking at this screen on a screen.
So because we haven't, this is just in simulation, it won't actually stitch this, but we go into there and we press Pro-Stitcher and it would run and stitch it out. So that's the kind of thing that we do for when we're doing a block. If we want to do an edge-to-edge design, I'm just going to clear all. For edge-to-edge designs, we've got lots and lots of choices of continuous line. So we could set up something like a Baptist fan, which people love the Baptist fan. So go into Open Baptist Fan. Anything where we've got a green start and a red end on the same horizontal plane is a continuous line design. And for that, again, I would move my crosshairs and go into Area, 2 corner. And for that, pantographs, I mean, typically you'd start off in the top left of your wadding and you would finish, so I'd hit 2 corner, and then I'd finish. I just set it up so that I'm on the far right of my, if you can just show Pete, if I was doing this on a quilt, imagine this was my quilt area. I started over the top left in my wadding and I go all the way to the far right. As long as I'm somewhere below that beginning part, I set it up there and I'd know the distance of the depth of my whole quilt and I key it in as the height. So say it was a table runner, and it might, or you know, like a bed runner or something. So it might be something like 45 inches wide, and so I'm going to key in 45 inches. I'd have extra, so make it 48, and then I'd trim it, and I might have a distance of say 60 inches long. So I can put it in as my dimensions. So there's my 48 by 60. I'm just making these numbers up. Press the home key and there's my quilt with my single Baptist fan. But I want to do a repeat. I want to make this many, many Baptist fans. I press in the repeat tab, fill, and it'll do the best it can.
There we go, isn't that good? So, yeah, somebody said it looks complicated to use. It's a very powerful piece of software, so it does take some learning, but it really is.
We'll be teaching on this.
There will be training.
Yeah. And I do a lot of my training, I've done, and people will talk about how I do the training on this. Like I'm reducing, for example, on Baptist fan, these distances from the left to the right are smaller than the distances vertically. And I can just reduce that vertical gap by pressing this minus key. Can you see that now? That's now closer vertically. And that's, we teach that. So I can do that. I can add in extra Baptist fans until I've got the right number of repeats. See, I've just added a few more an extra few repeats. There's a wrap function. So it enables me to basically move it around as I want. And then I can go into modification and I can basically crop away the outside like so. There we go, they've all gone. Get rid of the edges. Baseline it. I'm ready to go.
It's a great piece of software, Sheila. It's been developed by Handy Quilter over many, many years. And of course, the Pro-Stitcher Lite benefits from all the Pro-Stitcher full software that's been developed. So the functionality is very, very, very similar. This is the first time Liz has touched this.
It is.
And she can use it because she's familiar with the full Pro-Stitcher package.
Yeah. The thing to know is that I'm going to Salt Lake City in June, and I'll be doing a whole retailer and consumer academy for a week, and my focus is on this. So when I come back, my plan is to run several days of training here, and I'll be doing virtual training as well, because this is going to be a really big thing for us. And I think for a lot of our customers, the support that we'll be giving to this is going to be a real focus, because we know how many people will want this package. So, you know, Pete and I have discussed it. This is going to be a real focus for us this year and next. And Pro-Stitcher Lite is such a game changer for a lot of our customers. So, you know, we're really excited about where we're going with this.
Now, there's a question in as to when people can order it. Now, we're actually going to put together a pre-order offer because the interest in this product has been even more than we had originally anticipated. So that we know numbers to order and so as not to disappoint people, we're going to put together a pre-order offer for you. With some goodies thrown in as well. And on payment of a deposit, we will then know how many to get in to start with.
That's right.
So look out for that. Email us if you're interested in that. We'll also be posting it on Facebook, and I'm sure we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you'll be ordered to put your pre-order in soon, and then you'll get one of the first ones that come into the UK.
Yeah, and we had so much interest, didn't we, at Duxford?
A huge amount. And I've had a phone call this morning from somebody who wasn't at Duxford, but who says, now that Pro-Stitcher Lite's available, I want a machine with Pro-Stitcher. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Helen Burnham quite rightly says that the Pro-Stitcher website is very, very good, with good tuition on there as well. And it is excellent. So that's prostitcher.com.
It is prostitcher.com. So there's a lot of education and training via videos and also PDFs. And I mean, the way I've been doing my training so far on Pro-Stitcher Premium has been one-to-one. But going forward, I think there'll be so many more people who will be doing Pro-Stitcher Lite. It's likely to be group training, again on Zoom. I can do a lot of training on Zoom training. It's something that, for whatever reason, I find very easy to do visualization of this kind of training. And I absolutely love training people on how to use Pro-Stitcher. It's just one of the joys of doing the job I do. So I really hope that it's been of interest to you, and I hope that you know, you're tempted by this software, because I think there are so many possibilities for a lot of people. And you know, not everybody's going to love it. Not everybody thinks that computerized quilting is the way to go. But there are elements of computerized quilting that are very artistic and are totally not what you'd expect you can do with computerized quilting. I would just say, check out Joe Cunningham and his interview with Brenda Groltz if you want to know what you can do with digitization and also computerized quilting. If you thought if your preconceived notions about computerized quilting were restricted to just doing computers, and that there's no artistic merit to it whatsoever, just throw those preconceived notions away. It is amazing. So, you know, just the world is your oyster when it comes to computerized quilting. It's not what you think. There you go. That's my pitch. Other things?
And Helen says that Adam So Fun on YouTube has some good stuff too.
He does. And it's something where, as we move into this in more detail with the Pro-Stitcher Designer, I really want to get into this too, Pete. I'm just saying that too, because I think it's something that I've really wanted to focus on for quite some time. There you go. We've got... Is there anything else on Pro-Stitcher Lite that you wanted to cover? We'll get this where we can actually...
Don't think so. We'll put together now the pre-order details, and no, I don't think there's anything else. And we'll let people know as soon as we know more about actual release date. Yeah, absolutely. The other things that we wanted to follow up on that we'd sort of tempted you with are PrimoSoft is now on our website. We've got relatively small numbers in at the moment, but new glide threads order will be coming over soon. Also Magna Glide, we've got quite a lot of colours in Magna Glide now, so there's some lovely lush colours in Magna Glide, and also MagnaSoft. So check out our website. I put some links on some of the email newsletters I sent out this morning, but not all of them, so I apologise for that. Have a look at our handyquilter.co.uk website. You'll see a new category. It says Magna Bobbins. Underneath there, you'll find MagnaSoft, Magna Glide, and Magna Glide Classic. Other things? Oh, I had a great meeting with Abigail this week,
and we are planning some fantastic education. What we're planning on doing, though, is to let you know the dates in advance. Not all of it will be able to be booked in advance, but at least you'll know the dates. So you can kind of go, oh, I really fancy doing such and such an education retreat or whatever. And you'll know everything in advance. So we'll be getting that up on our website soonish, really pretty soon. I've been talking to Vendolka, who we were at Duxford with. Well, I say we were next door to Vendolka. And if you haven't yet seen my little video with her lovely son, Balthazar, who was doing free motion quilting and talking about how he'd made his lovely body warmer, then check it out on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we just need 2 more YouTube subscribers to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And if you could do that, you'd really make me very, very happy indeed, because as soon as we get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we just release a whole load of balloons, just inside, because they're bad for the animals. But if you do that, we'd be really, really happy. And apparently it makes us something different happens on YouTube. It means that we can do other things. And there you go. That would make our day. And as Annette says, Balthazar is an amazing young man. He is. He's amazing in this really lovely, quiet way. Really interesting. I'm seriously looking forward to his progress. And we just kind of go, yeah, he's wonderfully talented. Yes, and I think he impresses his little 8-year-old girlfriends by taking them back and showing them how to use his mother's Amara. I know. He's just lovely. He's lovely. And Louise says, I think you might already be at 1,000 because I subscribed this morning. That would be good. Fantastic. Louise and a friend could just one more, well, that would be wonderful. So thank you very much. If anybody else has subscribed this morning, we really appreciate it. And to all our previous subscribers, we really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching our Facebook channel and our Facebook Lives every week. If you do so, we really appreciate it, honestly. And we just love having our customers and our potential customers and everybody else who watches us as a handy quilter owner from around the world. We love having you here with us. It's made a year, yet again. Facebook Live, Pro-Stitcher Lite, whatever you're here for, it's great. Next time, we'll be giving you more information on this. We'll be doing other things. We've got some second user machines we'll be putting up. We've got some more coming in soon as well, because we know people will be upgrading. We've got some more information on some upgrades that will be happening shortly. So check out our website. If you're interested in second user machines, but more important, if you're interested in new machines, come and, not more importantly, but definitely contact us. Let us know. We'll be at the Malvern Quilt Show as our next show. We'll be out doing installations next week in the southeast, won't we, Pete? We will. We will. We'll be seeing Carolyn, and we'll be seeing Debbie, and we'll be seeing Liz. Correct. There you go. Fantastic. Yes, 2 installations. Yeah, and it's St. Patrick's Day, which is a really important day, isn't it, Pete? It is. There you go. Liz's birthday, 1 year older. Don't mention 1 year older. It's just important just to have St. Patrick's Day. I'm just happy about that. All right. Lovely. Thank you very much for joining us. Any other questions that we can answer live, Pete, or is it just impossible to read them on your phone? Carolyn's just checked. We definitely have 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, 4 figures at last. Yes. Good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So happy. So happy. All right. Well, listen, we just want to say have a great week's quilting. Whatever you're doing, whatever projects you're working on, we hope you have fun doing it. And we'll catch up with you next week around 11 a.m. We did get a phone call at 11, so we're a bit late. But listen, we love having phone calls. We'll answer the phone calls, and we'll be a bit late for Facebook Live. We'll take those phone calls. So thank you very much for your call. Okay, see you next week. Bye. I have one more job to do, which is to press the finish button. You see, it's not just one job, I've got 2. Yeah, just in sequence. You can do it.